Starting out. Okay, so welcome everybody. This is part of the live series thing that we're doing. This, Craig, there was a big edit button on the side. I see that. Coding tutorial. Quester. So guys, today we will be making a quest system. No. That's not, yeah. Okay, there we go. I knew that. Thank you, Neko. I seen that. I was just testing you. Testing your ability to attentive. What? Could watch the VOD, probably. Right now your brain's completely fried. That's okay. It won't be, though. So, I'm going to start a new project. No, not open. We're just going to call it coding. Because I'm going to be doing, like, multiple things on this. Ah, yes. Yes. You have the ability to see. Coding is an art. It really is. I don't know. How do you see? I don't know. I've tried seeing. I don't know, but I don't know what let me see them. Alright. So what you're gonna want, everyone, is I'm gonna guide you guys, and if you check the description, you can see. Well, after this is uploaded, you'll be able to see all this stuff. But for now, I'm just gonna put it in the chat. All the stuff that you're gonna need. So I'm just gonna open up the coding project. So what we're gonna need is Visual Studio Code. Download that. Actually, I think that's all we need, really, because yeah, we're not gonna be using Node.js right now. That'll be later, if we ever did want to use it. So yeah. Alright, so all you have to do is download Visual Studio Code then, and it is for Windows, Mac, Linux. That's about it. If you're using like Samsung Dex for some reason for your coding projects, then I don't know, just do some like online IDE. VS is the best. Yes, it is. A lot of your classmates use Atom, but you don't like it. Atom is good, but VS is better. And you know what? It's okay, Joel. It makes sense. Your classmates, you know, that makes sense. They, you know, they're allowed to have their own opinion, even if they're wrong, even if they are very wrong. Yeah, VS Code all the way, baby. Is this better than Garbage Maker and V? A little bit. It's basically the same thing, to be honest with you, Malach. But basically, yeah, we were expecting better code, but it's not ES6 at all. It's still like the same stuff. It does perform a little better though, and it is updated more, but it's not worth no $70+. No, this definitely not. It's the VX Ace of MV. It is 100% not worth the cost to upgrade. Does it crash as much? No, I never get crashes anyways. Hardly. Okay, so to begin with, oh yeah, by the way, anyone watching this in post, expect me to be replying to chat a lot. You guys should really seriously catch this live so you can ask me questions in real time. So be sure to hit the bell, all that good jazz, and whatever the heck is popular to say these days. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, let's. So we're gonna do quests. So before I do all this, I gotta explain. Yeah, I'm good at tutorials. So when you open Visual Studio Code, you're gonna want to open folder, and you're gonna want to go to your projects folder. In my case, it's our RPG Maker MZ, and then the coding. This is where all the game is. So you want to open up that folder, and then you want to navigate to JS, and you want to go to plugins, and you want to make your JS files. So we're gonna call it quest.js. You can make a new file by clicking on new file. I mean, if you don't know how to do that, you probably shouldn't be looking up coding tutorials, but hey, who am I, you know, to judge? So the MV has been crashing a lot? Why? Why does it crash on you? That's not good. That's rude. Tell it not to do that. It can't be rude like that. What? Bro. Sis. How do I turn the computer on? Very carefully. Make sure to tell it off. Yes, you do that. And you talked about its mom, too, because that's its weakness. Okay, so what we're going to do... Okay, first off, we got to think. We want to make a quest system, right? So what are quests? Quests are things that the player does to get rewarded. They go out of their way to... Maybe it's like a side quest. They go out of their way from the story. They take a break from the story to enjoy some other content of the game. And yeah, that helps not only reward the player like with better items or experience or blah blah blah, but it also helps to make your game not linear, I guess, not as linear. Like, yeah, you don't just feel like you're just going straight through the game. It adds a lot of side content, I guess you can say. So, let me zoom in so you guys can see. Okay. First off, we're going to create a class, and we're going to call it Quest. Now, we're going to do Constructor. Now, basically a class is, you can consider it an object that contains other objects, that contains values and other functions and stuff like that. It's kind of like a glorified object. It's like a glorified this. It's, instead of doing this, wait. There's more to it than just that, but for now, all you need to know is a class is a sort of container. I'm not going to explain everything like in maximum detail because I'm only going to be showing you guys what you need to know, and the rest you can find out for yourself through exploring and coding and playing around with the code and yada yada. I'm not going to be like one of those YouTubers that tries to be like mad professional, like he's working for some college or something. No, expect mistakes. There definitely will be mistakes. Especially since this is not planned. This is just kind of sporadic. So yeah, do expect mistakes. However, if this is being uploaded, then it works. So just bear with me, bear through the mistakes. Trust me, you will make a ton yourself, but don't let that worry you. That is to be expected, especially when coding. You will make a ton of mistakes, and there will be a lot that you forget, a lot that you need to research and everything. But that's why we're starting simple. So there'll be as minimal amount of that as possible. And no, I'm not going to start with the boring Hello World thing. Everyone knows Hello World. Hello World is literally console.log. Yo, what up, fam? That's Hello World. Okay. Exactly, Neko. Alright, so, Joel. Joel and Tiny, if you guys, whoever's keeping up, are you guys, let me know when you're ready for me to continue. Even your mom knows Hello World? She does. Man, looking for someone to teach how to create plugins. Go for it? Okay. So, Joel, Tiny, and all them, everyone who is trying to learn from this, if you guys want me to stop at any point, just let me know, and I will go over what I just said. So yeah, a class is a container. Your mom knows Hello World? That's nice. I think Joel's doing that. I'll just watch for now. Okay, I got you, Tiny. That's cool. Alright, so I'll mostly be targeting Joel then at the moment. That sounded a little bit morbid, like targeting Joel. Like, what? Alright. Now, what do quests have? Quests have a description, a title, and rewards, right? For the most part. And a condition flag. But we're not going to be using condition flags. We're going to be using... well, yeah, you know what? No, we can. We can use condition flags. Because that'll allow us to... By hiring a hitman on Joel? Rip. Rip. Please. Alright, so what we're going to do, we'll start with basic stuff. This dot name, name. So in the constructor, we're going to have arguments. We're going to have name, description, rewards. And then we'll have the rewards last. We'll do flag and the rewards. Description, flag. I'll explain what I'm doing in just a second. Okay, but I do want to teach a little bit of a cleaner style of coding. So this is a constructor. This is what happens once this quest is created, and you pass these arguments. So we're setting the name, comma, description, the flag, which will be a game switch. Matter of fact, we're going to do that now. Game. well, I gotta look up the switch thing, but yeah, so we're setting the flag, this dot flag equals flag, and then we're doing the rewards. Now, naturally, you'll want to kind of give these a default. Let's just have a quest for the default. And you can actually set an equal sign in the argument flag to define a default. So you don't need to be like this.name equals this.name. You don't need to do if if name is not equal to blah blah or whatever. You can already set a default by putting it in the argument. So if you don't define it, it's going to automatically be that value. So description equals dot dot flag equals 1, and then rewards equals array. Now, as for the flag, one thing that you can do if you need to grab any information is this right here. You can do you can open your console by pressing F12 or F8, and you can do game, where is it, switches dot underscore data, and then this is all the switches that you have defined at the moment. Now right now we don't have any, but we need to copy this though, so we're going to do, oops, right here, this dot flag is equal to game switches dot data, and in between brackets we're setting the array value. So right now it'll be 1, so it'll be switch 1. So the moment switch 1 gets turned on, in this case for the default, that's when the quest will be rewarded. It'll be sent to your inbox. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm tired. Okay. So yeah, now that we have the basic, you get it, Joel? Is there anything that you want me to explain real quick, or does it all make sense to you so far? This is great? Okay. Nice. You just learned classes yesterday? Oh, nice. Okay. So how much do you know about classes then? How much did they go over? So I don't need to like explain the basics, right? I know, like, this video is probably going to get complaints, like, you should explain the basics, blah, blah, blah. Like, what about people who have never coded? I mean, just copy what I'm doing, and it'll make sense as you edit it. You can skip the basics? Alright. Is that clean for me, though? I don't really like the way that looks. I'm just going to put it all in one line. You can organize that however you want, but I'm just going to put it in one line, because I don't like the way it looked. Alright, so now we're going to do what about quests that involve collecting? Okay, well right now we're just going to do a switch based, and then I'll show how to do the other kind later. I'm down to learn and relearn, so it's good. Nice, nice. Okay, no, that's gonna trigger me hard. Okay, what we'll do, we'll instead of flag, we'll do condition. I'll explain what I'm doing here after I'm done with it. Okay, so let me separate this so you can see it a little bit better. So instead of flag, we're going to be setting condition. And basically what this is going to be now, if the switch is on, or if flag is 0, then we're going to set it to where it's nothing. But you can do game variable, a variable, and once that variable equals a certain amount, that's when we're going to complete the quest. So like if you have a collect the mushrooms quest, collect 5 mushrooms, we can link it to a game variable instead of a flag, and then yeah, once we get the max or however many mushrooms, yeah, it'll work. And by doing this, you also unlock the ability to check and see if you have items. So collect or like give somebody 3 potions and stuff like that. You'll be able to do all this by linking it to a variable and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You'll see. So replace flag with condition. I am sorry about that. Again, this is definitely not planned, but I hope that's not too confusing. Do you need me to re-explain anything, Joel, or are you good? If so, then we'll go to this dot condition equals, and then we're gonna do flag game switches condition dot flag. Okay, now right here though, I do want to explain something. This is kind of important. So we replaced this dot flag equals with this dot condition, but notice how we have the flag value here, and we have game switches dot underscore data condition dot flag, not this condition dot flag, but the one up here. We don't want to do this dot condition dot flag when we're setting the value. Does that make sense? We want to set it to the one that has the argument, because we're still in the middle of defining its actual condition value. Does that make sense, Joel? It makes sense? Okay, cool. You're still understanding the full concepts, but yeah? Okay. Alright, later, Neko. Sorry if this bored you, Neko. But yeah, have a good night, okay? And thank you for joining earlier and whatnot. Great stream to you guys. Bye, Neko. See you next time. Have a good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Alright. So we're going to do var, and we're going to do game variables dot underscore data condition dot var. Max, we're just going to do condition dot max. So game variables, we're setting the value var equal to the game variable that we define. So 1 or 0 in this case by default. And then we're just setting a max. You don't want any semicolons after the condition thing. No, you're just feeling sleepy? That's okay. Good night, Neko. So Joel, what I'll do as well, I'll copy and paste this to Pastebin when I'm done. So if you are having errors, you can compare it with your code and see like what's going on and everything. A good idea. Did they teach you about JS doc at all, Joel? You're welcome. Yeah, did they teach you like JS doc or anything? Not yet. Okay. So JS doc is basically, well, I mostly use it for just Intellisense purposes. But you can compile JS doc into an actual documented file. But for the most part, you see how we have all this stuff here? This is Intellisense. Intellisense basically tells you how a function works. So if I were to do this, const fs equals required. Don't do this. I'm just showing you an example. fs.write file. So the write file function, notice how all of this data is provided. It shows what it does and everything like that. It tells us all this info. That's basically what we're going to be using the JS doc for. So to start a JS doc section, you want to do /**. You'll do 2 of them. And if you're on code, it should automatically create the JS doc thing for you. With every new line, you want to have another asterisk. So we're going to do @class. This is the name of the class, quest. And you see right here, we already have that section. And then we're going to do creates a quest. And you see now, whenever we hover over it, we got that right here. But now, we're going to need to pass our params. So param string, because name is a string, and then name. So that's our first argument. So now, whenever we go right here, you'll see right here, name is a string whenever we hover over the constructor. So we're going to do that for all of our values. So param string description lowercase. Capital letters are critically important. Param, and this is an object, so we're going to do object, condition. And now what we're going to do, param, object, wait, no, number, sorry. Condition dot flag. And then, yeah, so when we hover over condition, you'll see we have flag number, var number, max number. This is already kind of defined, but by doing it this way, it's just a little bit, it's cleaner to do this. Switch ID, you can give it a description as well. So condition object, description of the quest, name of the quest. So now you have all this stuff here, and then when we go to condition, you should see, why is it not there? Okay, I think I did this wrong, but I forgot how to tie it to internal values, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. And we're going to do param array. What we're going to do, we're going to do any. We're going to do any, and then like that. Rewards. Let's make it an object array. It'll be an object, so object array rewards. Oops, needs to be lowercase. It's for completing. So yeah, this is just information. It's not 100% needed, but it will help you remember everything. So like when we create a quest later, we're gonna do, like, let's say var sample quest equals new quest. As soon as we start doing that, you'll see all the stuff here. We got the name, description, and all that. And you can hover over it, and it'll tell you all about it. That's the point of JSDoc. That's what we're going to be using it for. Okay, so I'll let you catch up on that real quick, and let me know when you're ready. No, that's super helpful. Mine don't light up like yours. You're using VS Code, right? So make sure it's a curly brace. Make sure you're doing this. Make sure it's like that. Also, make sure that you start off with the /**, and you end with this one right here. And with every new line, you want to put another asterisk. You have to have two asterisks at the top. So /2 asterisks. And then a new line, and then you have all your stuff here, and it should highlight. No. So does it look like this? Make sure you oh, you just checked. We're good. Okay. It might be your theme, yeah. Okay, so let me know when you're ready for me to continue, and we will do so. What theme do I have? No, that's not too much to ask. Not at all, dude. Not at all. Okay, so the theme that I'm using... What theme am I using? Extensions. Wait, how do I check? Appearance. No. Editor layout, no. You know, I have no earthly idea. Material icon theme? Ooh, hold up. Material. Oh, it's very bright. I can't do that. Well, for the sake of simplicity, let's both get the Atom 1 dark theme. and we'll use this so that we have the same theme and whatnot. So yeah, let's check out the Atom Dark one, or Atom 1 Dark rather. Plus, I mean, Atom's got some pretty nice colors, I think. Holy crap. Nice. So does it look like mine now? Like, is it highlighted properly? Oh, nice. Excellent. All right. So we've made our basic quest class. But now we need to do completion. So we're going to make a function called complete. And we're going to comment this was JSDoc as well. Marks the quest as complete. If you don't have a value, like at whatever, then it's going to be gray. It should be like that. But yeah, you still want the extra asterisk, because if you only have it as a regular comment, it's not gonna display. So we're going to do JSDoc by doing the extra asterisk here. Marks quest is complete. This dot complete equals false. We're going to want to add that. I forgot about that. This dot complete is true. For let I of this dot rewards. And we're just going to leave that blank for now. Now we're going to have a function that adds a reward. So we're going to do add reward. We're just going to call this O for now. Yeah, we'll just keep it as O because the name doesn't really need to be important. So we're going to do this dot rewards dot push O. Also, you can do method if you want. If you just want to stylize it a little bit more. You don't need to type at method though, but it does look nice if you wanted to do that. Adds a reward. Yeah. So by default, these functions that are inside the class are called methods. So if you want, like I said, it's not needed, but you can. I mean, it is needed if you're gonna compile it. I think it depends on the compiler, I guess, but we're not going to be compiling JSDoc at all during this. This is just for our own helpful information. Alright, so I'll stop scrolling real quick so you can catch up and let me know when you have done so. We're good? Okay. So now we're going to test, we're going to create a test quest. Sounds a little bit funny. So we're just going to start a new game real quick so we can make sure all the variables and switches are initialized. So go to the title, start a new game, press F12 to open this. We're going to do const, we're just going to call it Q equals new quest. And if we remember, this is like a little bit of a ghetto way of testing, but it's okay. So we're going to do test, and then we're going to description, just going to dot, whatever. Condition flag 1, var 1, max 1. So I'm just going to do that real quick for the testing. Rewards. Oops. Null. So I'm just going to copy and paste this so you can paste it in your console. Wait, quest is not defined. Oh, because I'm smart. We got to add our plugin first. So we're going to go to plugin manager and we're going to add the dang plugin. I'm a genius. So yeah, do that first, and then now it'll say undefined. So, but yet when we type Q, you'll see here's our information. Here's our quest. We got the name, the description, the condition, flag is undefined, var is undefined. Why? Hold on. Game variables dot data 1. Okay, so data 1 is undefined. That's why. Oh yeah, yeah. It's because we don't have the variable defined. Okay, so we're gonna define some variables then, just for testing. You don't need to do this, but I recommend it. So the switch, we're gonna call it quest1. Control variables quest1. So yeah, we created quest1 on the switches and variables. You don't need to do anything with them, but they did need to be initialized. But you don't need to like set them to anything special. And it should now be not null or undefined. Okay, so it still is undefined. Okay. This is one of the things that I was talking about by mistakes will happen. We're gonna have to how can we... What's the best way of going about this? Because right now the values are not getting defined. The switches and variables, they're not being defined, but that's okay. What we can do then is just set it to the flag and variable number and not use game switches or game variables yet, but instead use that to check after all this stuff's been defined. So we're going to get rid of the game switches and game variables thing for now. We will replace that in a little bit. We will place it somewhere else. But yeah, everything else worked as we've seen. We had all the values here, the rewards. But let's test and see if our add reward function works. We can do that by... Now you don't need to go to the title screen, the map anymore. So right now our rewards are null. That needs to not be null. I did a oops again. Okay, let me get this figured out, then I'll explain after it's all figured out. That way I don't confuse you and like throw you all over the place. Okay, there we go. So we can do q.add reward. We'll do item 1. No, we'll do it this way. We'll do type item ID 1 Q. Now if we do this, should have our rewards here. Yep. Type is item, ID item 1. Okay. So replace null in the thing that I sent at the very end. Just replace null with brackets. Or just don't define it at all. You might be able to just get away with that. Should you save your file into a new game? Yes. Always test your stuff in like another project if you can. Also, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so where were we? We were... So, adding the reward. We're gonna get a little bit fancy with this. So let me figure this out and then I'll explain as I do it. Data items, right? Yeah. And then there's a function to automatically add the item, I think. Add item. No. Let's go to the scene shop. You don't need to do all this stuff, by the way. I'm just looking for a certain function that we're going to be using. Here it is, gain item. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do, in the for let I of this rewards, we're going to do if I.type, and we'll do a switch, it looks fancier. Switch I.type, case item, break. So did you learn about switches yet, Joel? Because if not, then I will explain a little bit about it. Okay, so a switch is kind of like a glorified if statement. So switch I.type, we're going to see if that's equal to item. And if it is, then we're going to do all the stuff between. And then we're going to type break. Then you can do another condition, so case not item, then it's not an item or whatever. You can do whatever you want like that. It's a cleaner way of having multi-conditions and whatnot. And it's also it's efficient. Instead of typing if this name is equal to items or if this is equal to that, it cleans all that stuff up. Does that make sense? Thanks for this tutorial. You're very welcome, Pietro. It is. It's a lot simpler than using a bunch of if statements. So what we're going to do, when we complete it, we're going to do, instead of this dot item, we're going to do I dot, what was it now? Index. I'm just going to put a little comment there so that I know what to do. So here we're going to do I.index. So we're going to do $game.party.gain item, I.index, and then the amount we're going to do I.amount instead of number. Yeah. So let me know. Oh, you're going to water? Yeah, go ahead. Nah, you're fine, dude. You can do whatever you need to do. So Pietro, do you need me to explain anything right now, or are you good? Are you all caught up as well? And yeah. So how many people's in the chat right now? That's not, that's just watching and whatnot. Also, welcome back, Joel. So yeah, gameParty.gain item, I.index, I.amount. I think it's 12. I think what's 12? The time is 12. So yeah, if the reward is an item type, we're gonna gain an item. If it's an EXP reward, oh, you know what? Yeah, we could do it that way. If it's an EXP reward, then we're gonna, what is it now? Gain EXP, right? Well, we'll do gain gold as well. Yeah, not that though. Gold. i.amount. Okay, so if it's gold, we're gonna gain the gold by the amount value that we set. Let me know when you have all this stuff typed, and I will continue on looking for the EXP thing. In the meantime, I will drink some of my cool blue Gatorade. So Joel, have you ever coded before this, like before JavaScript? Oh, you got it? Okay. While I'm looking for this, we'll talk about that. Okay, so it is gain EXP. Alright, so I need to do new game real quick. I need to test something. You done some HTML and CSS? JavaScript pulled you in because Origin Maker? Yes. Excellent. JavaScript's really powerful, by the way. Have you heard of Node.js? You can literally do anything with that. And then COVID hit and you lost your job. Yeah, dude, I lost mine as well thanks to code, but I can get it back though, but I don't know. No, it's okay. It's okay. That's dedication right there. Pietro's got some dedication. We're learning it next week. Nice. Excellent, dude. Have fun. Dude, Node is so amazing. Game party. Oops, dot actors. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. It is data actors. Let's do one, right? I forgot what we were doing. Game actors? Yeah, game actors. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Which one is this? Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, game actors. So what we're gonna do is for let j, because we already have an I. You can do another I, but I don't recommend it. Of game actors. Also, don't copy what I'm doing yet. I'll tell you when it's safe to copy because I have to experiment. Gain. Oops. There it is. Alright, so it's the gain exp i.amount. Okay, this should work, but bear with me. We may come back to this. Oh, dude, React is pretty cool. I've always done my own thing, but React is very good to know if you're looking for a job in that sort of range, because a lot of businesses will require you to know React, but honestly, I feel like it's a little bit dangerous. Like, not React, but I mean in general, it's like a little bit dangerous to fly into what's trending, because the more something's trending, like the more exploits there are for it. But that's not an issue with React. React's really good. I'm just saying, in general, I've noticed like a trend. A lot of businesses using SQL. SQL is good, but it is risky if it's not handled properly. Yeah, well, that's another subject though. So what we're doing here, we're iterating through all of the entire party, and we're giving them experience points based on the amount. Once you complete. Wait, what? What do you mean it doesn't even answer? I don't think your messages showed up, Walker. Yeah, your messages are not showing up. Rip, rip, rip. Totally true. You need some security tank. Also, was a param object called again? Which one? The condition one, or the top one? Or is it in the item one that you're making? Yeah, I'll copy and paste the... You're okay. JSX? What about JSX? I'm confused. I'm so confuzzled. Oh, JS doc. Yeah. I think you're talking about that, right? Yeah. Alright, so yeah, basically what we're doing, we're scanning there in gold. So we have 3 types of rewards. We have items, experience points, and gold. Now, we have our add reward, and we have a little example of what to do. So, now we're going to go over plugin parameters here, and the plugin settings in general. This is how we're going to define our quests. Or no, we'll do it through a plugin command. Yeah, we'll do a plugin command. Okay, so first thing you want to do, start a JS doc like you did before, but this time, because RPG Maker is specific, we're going to start it like this. Start the top line like that, but otherwise do everything else in the JS doc format. You'd like to have some advice? You wanted to start a Kickstarter for your game made in MV. Ain't this by chance? Honestly, I really don't recommend a Kickstarter. A lot of people are definitely not going to pay money for an RPG Maker game unless it looks really, really good, for developing one anyways. Yes, that's correct, Pietro. I'll try to answer Pietro with text, that way he can translate it easier. But yeah, Joel, once you have that, we're gonna do @author, and that's going to be the author of the plugin, so I'm gonna put my name. You don't have the EXP? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, I should have asked if you were done yet. So, yeah, we're gonna do for let J in game actors, $ game actors. This is an internal value for the ones RPG Maker uses. And we're going to do game actors array j dot gain exp I dot amount. And that's going to gain experience points for completing the quest for the entire party. Thank you so much. Yeah, we may be coming back to this later. I don't know. So I'm going to mark it real quick. Nah, never mind. That's a breakpoint. That's not even a... Oh, I could have used it as a marker, but... Alright, so, at the top, let me know when you have this. You want to start the line with these right here. Hey, Walker. Italiano. Walker, are you going to translate for me? That'd be awesome. That'd be super cool, dude. I don't know if you can, though. Probably be like a pain in the butt. Especially since you're not being paid to do so. A person of Italian speaking. Okay, so yeah, we have our author name, and we have plugin desk, plugin DESC. This is the plugin description. A quest plugin. And then we also have our params. So we are going to create... You know what, we're not going to go over params in this one because we're not going to need any. But I will send you a link if you do want to make a plugin with params, because you are most likely going to use them. So Now we're going to be looking at MV param types because they're the same thing, and there's already a nice thread on params. The params, that's the same, yeah, it's the same concept. You just want to use, yeah, you want to use those if you're going to do any params. But we're going to skip them in this one. We're going to create a help section. This is the help section. There is a lines you can use, well, not lines, but before you need to create a new line. So how the plugin thing works, it does not word wrap, so you're going to have to do some custom word wrapping. So if we open this back up, there we go. As you can see, it kind of scrolls, and you don't want that. So I would say however many characters this is, yeah, just guesstimate it. Not many people are watching. You must be lucky. You are lucky, Tayton. Also, welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy your stay. Tayton, we're like midway through though, so you might want to catch the video after it uploads, and whatnot. Hey Charizard, how you doing, dude? Long time no see, man. Non sono Italiano. Yeah, I don't speak Italian. Yo, mama's Italian. Got him. But that's not even an insult. Okay, but yeah, let me know if that makes sense to you, Joel. Because now, when we go back to it, yeah. Oh, and if you're making an MZ plugin, you'll see it says right here, may not support MZ. That's because we need another flag. I forgot about this. We're gonna do @target MZ, and by doing that, go back to it, click OK, and it should, yeah, there we go. Now it supports it. So yeah, if you're making it for MZ, we're gonna do @target MZ. Okay, now we have our main basics all set up. Hey girl, my ferret says hi. Hey baby, you want on the bed? Hold on, guys. You said you're not Italian? Yeah, I know. We can just do that with any MP plugin? Kinda, but the code won't necessarily work the same. MV is slightly different. I mean, it's for the most part, it's the same enough to easily migrate. Is that for Unpro? This plugin can choose the rewards, pretty much. Yeah, I'm giving my ferret some loves real quick. Just came to say hi. Baby. Want to say hi to YouTube? You want to co-commentate? Oh, goodness. You got a hairball? You got a hairball? There you go. You going underneath the bed? Alright, so it still says it. Did you do the extra? Did you do the extra star thingy at the end, or at the beginning? Also, you need to close your plugin manager and reopen it. And MZ needs to be capitalized as well. I used to use a web browser RPG Maker called RPG Maker or RPG Playground. Holy crap! When I started, gigantic upgrade. But yeah, I know I've heard of that actually, Tayton. It's really cool. I haven't seen that in a while. All right, so we're done with the class quest for now. So Joel, what we're gonna do? Oh, choose the reward. Like, wow. Yeah, we can make it choose the reward, but not for this tutorial though. Like, you're not gonna be able to like select which one you want and all that. That'd be like more advanced though. I mean, it's not that much more advanced, but. Imparto. Anime. Alright, so now we're going to create a window, Joel. So what we're going to do, class window, well, we're going to call it something else. We're going to call it window quest data extends window base. So when we use extends, it's basically copying all of the values of window base. This is extremely important. We need this because the window base contains a bunch of functions and all that stuff, and it's a built-in class of RPG Maker, kind of a class. So yeah, we're going to call it window quest data. And let me know when you have that. Half typical JRPG, half social simulator? No, there isn't, unfortunately. If you want to find all this stuff, though, open up RMZZ Core, or RMMZ Core, and you can find all the stuff here. We got utils class. If you need to find anything, like we got a graphics class, we have our managers, data manager, all this stuff here. For some reason, when you go to the documentation and you go to API, it just takes you to a 404. It's madly annoying, but yeah. So for now, you're left to just guess, or not guess, rather, just you have to search the hard way. I know, it's so obnoxious. Like, we don't have anything for the API, so you gotta search stuff. Okay, bye Tayton. You have a good night, alright? I need to, you can... Okay, so constructor, just like before, but this time we're gonna have an argument called rect. It stands for rectangle, not rectum. Alright, so we're gonna do super rect. Now what this is gonna do, the rect is an object, which I'll show you how to use that a little bit later though. It contains 4 values, x, y, width, and height. And it defines the location and size of the window itself. So we're going to do this dot refresh. Oops, not this, I'm sorry. We're going to do refresh. And then quest ID. Let me know when you have all this stuff right here. A, hang out with people. Yes, that's true. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I agree. Character new skill. Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I got you. I got you. That's you're talking about your social RPG thing. Okay, you're good? Alright, so let's continue. So we're going to clear the contents of the windows. We're going to do this.contents.clear. And that's going to clear out all the text and everything else that we're drawing on the time management system. I love time management stuff, dude. Rip. That's retracted. What, Walker, what are you doing? Why are you deleting all your previous stuff? Walker, what are you doing? Also, I don't know, this is legit, but you found this. What'd you find, good sir? No trace of Walker. Walker's deleting himself from the internet. So we got to remember what our quest has. Our quests have which values? They have condition, description, name. So all we're really going to be doing is the description, name, and rewards. You have to go to sleep. Thank you. Thank you for saying it's a good stream. And Frank, I hope you have a good night. So Joel, what we're going to do, this.drawtextex, and that's going to allow us to draw text in a similar way the window, like the text window does, only without the typewrite effect. So we're going to do, now we're not going to do single quotes or double quotes. Instead, we're going to use the tilde, which is the little squiggly thing next to 1. This symbol here, but without holding shift, if you have an American keyboard. If not, look for that symbol there. It's not a single quote or a double quote. I forget what it's called. But yeah, it's like the reverse of a single quote thing. we're going to be using that. And you got it? Okay. I'm sorry, I forget what it's called though. I don't know why. But we're going to, now to make sure it works, you're going to type $ and then brackets. And if it glows red, then it's working. So what we're going to do quest id dot name /n/n. So let me know when you have that right there. And it should be highlighted the same way because we have the same theme. You got it? So the /n, that is a new line. That basically creates a new line. It moves a line down. That's one of the reasons we want to use Drawtextex, because it supports /n instead of the standard Drawtext function. Alright, so now we're going to do $quest ID dot description. And then we're going to put that at 0, 0 for the X and Y. Now, let me just show you what, well, no, I can't. I'm not going to show you yet. We'll finish something before we start testing it. Alright, so let me know when you have that. And for stylizing, we're going to do this dot bitmap dot fill rect, and then we're going to do 0 start line. I'll explain after I'm done writing it. This contents dot width 2. Okay, so learning JS with the Pro, yes. You got it, but that's the X and Y position. That's where you want to start that's where the text starts. And we want to start it at the very top left of the window. So that'd be coordinates 0, 0 for X and Y. Now what we're doing here, we're creating a little line, we're creating basically a horizontal rule. It's kind of like an HR, but yeah, for our window. And we're going to create it at X position 0, and the Y position is going to be 1 line high. So it's going to be right underneath the name. So this is just for styling. You don't have to have it, but yeah, I like it a lot. And then we're going to do this.contents.width for the width, and we're only going to make it 2 pixels high. And this color here is basically black with some alpha channel, so 0, 0. Or this is, hex colors, right? It's the same thing, but you have 2 other values after the hex value, and that determines the transparency. So FF is completely transparent. Or no, 0, 0 is transparent, and FF is 255, which is, yeah. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I will paste the whole thing real quick. Black. So yeah, basically all we're doing is making a semi-transparent black bar for stylizing. And we're going to do another one here. Hold on. No, we're not going to do another one. Alright, so yeah, we have that. And now we're going to do /n/n actually, because I'm going to add to this one. I was thinking of how I can stylize it, but I think this right here will work just fine. So we're going to do 2 more. We're going to do 2 more line breaks. $ this dot get rewards, and then function, like we're going to call it as a function. So let me copy and paste this whole thing for you to make it a little bit easier. in case the bitrate is going bad or whatever. And we're gonna create a function in the window quest data to get the rewards based on our reward stuff. Okay. Now we're gonna do get rewards, and we're gonna do we can make it a const. No, we don't need to. Let me do this real quick, and then I'll explain after I figure it out, because I'm gonna have to. So yeah, for a moment you can relax if you want, do whatever you need to do, but until I can get this figured out, then I'll explain. Because again, I don't like throwing people all over the place and being like, do this. Oh wait a minute, we gotta do this instead. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna XP gold. It was dot rewards, right? Yeah. Just gonna copy and paste that real quick. Wait, was it all caps? I don't remember. No, it wasn't. It was lowercase. Okay. There's a way we can get around that anyways, but... let items equals string. Okay, what I'll do, Joel, also while I'm going over this, I will paste this to a paste bin. That way you can... Actually, no, because that wouldn't benefit you that well. Yeah, I'll just go over it little bit as we do this. So I need to do what? Data items 1. Okay. And what was our other values though? We had type index. Yes, what it was. Okay. Items plus equals data items I dot index dot name x I dot amount slash n. I'm just gonna stylize it a little bit here. Return rewards. XP and then slash n. Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Gold. Okay, so Joel, you ready? I'm about to go over it. This should work, but again, we might be coming back here. You know, when you do a lot of code like this without testing, odds are you're gonna mess something up. So yeah, we may be coming back here, but what we're doing is we're setting a value called exp to 0, gold to 0, and items to a string. 100%. All right. So then we're going to do for let I of quest id.rewards. Make sure the quest id argument is in the get rewards thing here. So then we're going to do, just like we did before, switch I.type. If it's an item, then we're going to add to the string items. We're going to add, well, I just added a little bullet here, but you don't need to do that. I'll just copy and paste this as I talk about it. So we're going to add the item name and then X the amount that you're going to receive. Does that make sense? And then we're going to do a line break after that. The line break's important because, like, otherwise, yeah, it's just going to keep going left to right. Although there is another method that you could do, but we'll go over stuff like that later. That's some like more advanced stuff. So we're going to break that switch statement. Then we're going to say if it's exp, we're just going to add the exp by I.amount. And the same thing with the gold. Make sure you always break your statements though. Excuse me. And then after that, after we close out our for loop, we're going to return, and we're going to use that little tilde thing again. We're going to return exp, and this is basically going to tell us all the rewards and whatnot that we're going to get. And let me know when you have all that, and we will continue. You got it? Okay. We're going to do something a little interesting. Let me JS doc this real quick. Object. Method. Get rewards. We're going to do something interesting. We're going to create a scrollable window. Wait. So yeah, we're going to do this.scrollY equals 0, and we're going to do that inside of the constructor, right underneath super. So let me know when you have that as well, and then we will continue on. Okay, so now we're going to do a little optimization. Since we're going to have a real-time updater, we don't want to call this function every single frame, right? Or every time that it needs an update. We don't need to redo this function. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to cut this out, and up here we're going to do this.rewards equals this.getRewards, like that. And then we're going to replace what we had in here with this.rewards. So the function that gets the rewards only needs to be called once. Make sense? Okay. Now we're gonna make a function to refresh the rewards. This is so like when we're browsing through our quests, we can change the item and whatnot. So we're gonna do this dot change. Whoops, sorry. Change reward quest ID. Also, I made a mistake. Alright, let me fix this up and then I'll explain, okay? Wait a minute. No. Yeah, let me fix all this stuff up and then I'll explain. Because otherwise, you'll be thrown a lot of all over the place right now. Okay, but what you can do though, we're gonna set this dot quest ID to null, and then we're gonna call this set rewards instead of change. So set rewards quest ID equals, there we go. And then we're gonna do this dot rewards equals empty. All right, so we're gonna do this dot rewards equals empty, like an empty string, and then we're gonna do set rewards quest ID this dot rewards, and then we're gonna copy and paste that. So we're gonna do this dot get rewards quest ID. Let me know when you have that. And if it makes any sense. If you need me to explain anything, let me know. I do not mind. This stream has been going on for a while. I love it though. I'm actually having a lot of fun. I don't know why. Maybe I just like meant for tutorials or something, because it's really fun for me and relaxing, oddly. You think everything makes sense? Okay. So we're gonna set the this dot rewards value to get rewards. Request ID. Now we're going to make the. Yeah, let's I'm gonna I'm just gonna document it because it looks sexier and less unclean. So in the refresh, we're gonna get rid of quest ID and the initialize thing, and instead we're gonna do const quest ID equals this dot quest ID. So let me know when you have that, and then okay. Next time though, in the next stream, I will have this kind of thing planned out a little more. You know, and dude, I have a really fun experiment for the next stream actually that I'm gonna be working on. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I think you guys will love that. In the next plugin that we make. Do you love these? Ah, thank you, dude. I appreciate that, Joel. Alrighty. But yeah, I do apologize for any mistakes that I'm going to be making, because the planned ones might not have as much. You love Quest plugins? Quest plugins love you. But yeah, the planned ones won't. No worries, honestly. Thank you, I appreciate that. It does make me feel pressured though. Whenever I make a mistake, I'm like, oh crap. Now dang it, I gotta go back and then I gotta explain, and they're probably gonna get annoyed and all this and that. It's just, a bunch of negative thoughts. Oh, yo! Dude, that's what you meant by subscribing? Thank you so much, Joel. Dude, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. And welcome as being a member. Dude, I seriously appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you, Joel. As a member, you have access to some really stupid and dank emotes. You got Pro Excite, Pro Rage, Pro Jank Slime. There's my, I don't know if it's showing on the stream, but that music is from, yeah, there they are. Dank birds. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, that means a lot to me. I know, I love those dancing birds. Let me see if I can't find the original of that real quick. It's glorious. It really is. I can spell real well. Okay. Dancing parrot GIF. There it is. It's literally the most glorious thing ever. Parrots are definitely some of God's like best creations. And it won't let me send the yeah, it won't let me send the thing, but oh, dude, Pietro's like super confused, I bet, because he doesn't speak English and he's here for the tutorials things, and all of a sudden we're looking at parrots dancing. So Pietro's probably like, what the F is happening? Like, ADHD went mad. Alright, so where were we? And yes, they are. They are. They're beautiful creatures. Amazing, majestic beasts. Man. So now we're gonna do... Okay, so notice how we have this dot... We have the 0 in position for this dot... Joel, you are great. He is. Thank you so much again. So for the Y position, the second 0 in the Drawtextex, we're gonna replace that with this dot scroll Y. And we're gonna... And for the Y position here, on the line, we're gonna do this dot line height minus this dot scroll Y. And that's going to allow us to scroll. And now we're going to create an update function. This is an automatic property that gets updated in RPG Maker's window base. So we're going to do update. I'm just going to... And what we're going to do now, we're going to be making use of the input class. Let me find it. Okay. Is pressed. Let me find out all the other ones though. So it's page up and page down. So page up and page down are, as you can see right here, left bumper and right bumper. So when you press L, we're going to scroll up. So if input is pressed, page up. Let me, I guess I'll finish this off real quick and then I'll explain how it goes again, as usual. Because if I ever stop thanking a pro for this tutorial. Alright, so yeah, we're going to do if input is pressed, page up, and we're going to do this dot scroll minus. I love how I'm still explaining even though I said... It is page down, right? Not PG down? Yeah. I don't know if they shortened it or not. I have the memory of a cheeseburger. Yeah, I'm almost finished this and I'll explain it. Okay, so we need to calculate the line height of, or how many slash n's there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let line height, let lines equals, so yeah, we're gonna get the amount of, yeah, so we're gonna do this dot rewards dot length, wait, no, dot split slash n dot length. Okay, so this is a little complex, so I will definitely explain this in just a moment. Okay, so for now, I'm just gonna go over this part, and then I'll go over what this is. So we're gonna do if input is pressed, and this stands for left bumper, or page up on the keyboard. So when you press page up, we're gonna subtract the scroll Y value. We're gonna do minus minus, that subtracts it by 1 per frame, and then we're gonna do this dot scroll Y plus plus. As a matter of fact, we're gonna move this dot refresh. We're gonna put it under each of them. Now, it's generally not a good idea to do stuff like that, but in our case, it is, because, hey, thank you for subscribing, Derek. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But yeah, because we don't have to clear off all the contents and everything per frame. Only when we want to scroll. You can do it this way, and let me know when you have this, by the way, so I can, that way I'm not going too far ahead. Let me know when you are ready for me to explain the better way of doing it. Got it? Alright. So, technically this is more CPU efficient, but it doesn't look as clean, right? Because, you know, you have like 2 of the same things right here. One thing that we can do to clean this up, I'll go over this part in a little bit though. Let me just move that down a lot. One way that we can clean this up is, so right now, the is pressed, let me see how this functions. Okay, yeah, so it returns true. Let me test something real quick. Yeah, let me test something and then I'll see if this works. Nah, that's a little bit more advanced, so I think we'll save that. We'll save that for later, yeah. I'll save that for probably the next one, actually. Effectively, what we're going to be doing, though, Joel, if I do it in this episode, it'll be later on, because I don't want to hold you up too much. But instead of doing ifs like this, we're going to make it so that input.isPressed page up would be 1, and page down would be -1. And then we can just do this. We can say, with only one if statement, we can be, if the value is not, 0, then it's going to add this .scroll y by that value and call the refresh. Basically shrinking everything down to 1 input, but I got to figure out how the best way to go about that is, because right now it just returns a true or whatever this is here. False. This is either going to be true or false, but I need to convert that into numbers. Wait a minute. I wonder, does this work? Num is 1. Okay. Constant num2 equals number false. 0. Yep, that's it. Yes. Okay, we can do this. We can do it. All right, so let me go ahead and get this out of the way, and then I'll explain it. All right. Input dot expressed minus number page down. All right. Yeah. Okay, so this is the better way of doing it. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No, hey, we can continue this tomorrow after you go to sleep. I'll just like end the video and then we can continue it tomorrow, Joel, if you want. But not right now. I mean, you know, when you do go to sleep. But okay, so Joel, what we want to do here, we're gonna create a variable. So we're gonna do let scrolling equals number, and we're gonna do input.isPressed page up minus. Here, I'll just copy and paste this so you can see how it works. I mean, I don't have to. I mean, you get the point. Like, you get the basics of how that works. But basically, what this means is, if you're pressing page up, the value is going to be 1. And if you're, this needs to be minus equals. And if you're pressing page down, the value is going to be -1. No, I had that right. It is a plus, right? I don't remember. Yeah, no, it is a negative, okay. So if you press both at the same time, then it's going to be 0. If you're not pressing any at the same time, then it's going to be 0. Any at the same time, what? I can English real well. So this will either be 0, 1, or -1. So we're going to check and see if it's not equal to 0. And if it isn't, that means you're pressing one of the buttons. But yeah. Then we're going to scroll by the direction that you're pressing, if that makes sense, Joel. And then we're going to call the refresh function. This is a much cleaner way and more efficient way to do it. One, there's only one if statement, and it's not checking for a bunch of, well, technically there's more if statements, but they're nested. But yeah, this is the efficient way of doing it. So we're going to do let lines equals 5. Now the 5 came from the fact that we have, by automatic default, we do have these right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have at least 5 line breaks, right? So we're going to do lines equals 5 plus this dot rewards dot split, and then /n. So let me copy this. So basically what split does is it creates an array based on, like, it scans through the string, and every time it finds the thing that you typed, it splits it into another array. By doing this, we can count how many new lines there are in the rewards thing. Now, ignore this .scroll y part for now. So let me know when you have that. And we need to multiply that end result, but I'm going to wait until you type it though. You got it? Okay. And I'm also going to give you like a little bit of a question thing before we end as well, to help you out as well, because there's a better way we can do this, but we'll do that before we end. So now we're going to multiply that by this dot line height. So that's going to be, yeah, so that should work, right? Do that. Yeah, that should work. Okay, good. So just multiply that by this dot line height, And then in this dot scroll, we're going to type this dot scroll y is equal to math.min, math.max. We're going to change the ending where it says lines, but just for now, you can copy and paste that if you want. And so basically, math.min tells you right here, it returns the smaller subplied numbers. So let's say, I'm just going to type this so you can get an example. X and 5. Now, x will be no greater than 5. It can be between any negative number or even 0, but it cannot be greater than 5. That's the maximum, as ironic as it is. That's the maximum value that it can be. And the way max works is the opposite. So now, it can be anything above, but it cannot be negative 5. It can't be any less than negative 5. Does that make sense? This part always threw me off, by the way, when learning. I always got them mixed up. But basically, min stands for max, and max stands for min, really. And what we generally do is we'll combine them. So we'll do min, max, and then value, in this case x. And then the smallest that it can be, which is 0, and then the highest that it can be, which is 1 in this case. So now x can only be between 0 and 1. So it can be 0.5. Yeah, it's weird, man. But yeah, so this, you get it though? By mixing them together like this, we're setting a minimum, which is 0, and a maximum of 1. In our case with the lines though, we're setting scroll y equal to a minimum of 0 and a maximum of lines and minus this dot contents dot height. So let me repaste that for you. That's going to stop us from scrolling up and down infinitely, basically. It's going to give our scrolling a limit, if you will. Now, I'm also getting kind of tired, so I think we are going to end, but does that make sense, Joel? And I'm going to ask you a question as well on optimizing. Totally makes sense? Okay, good. Now, this right here is being called every single frame, right? But where can we put this to optimize this? Because we don't technically need to set the scroll-wise position minimum and maximum every single frame, right? So where can we put it to limit the to limit how many times this is called? We only need to call this when we input, right? So we're going to put it here, but we want to put it before the refresh. If you put it after the refresh, it's already going to calculate everything before it sets all the values. So for optimization purposes, we can just get away with this. And not only does it look cleaner, but yeah, it's way more optimized for the CPU as well. So I'm going to go to Pastebin, and I'm going to paste the code that we got. And I'm going to send you the Pastebin link. And what the heifer? Maybe I should like sign in for this because wait, did I already have a? I should have an account with Google, right? Yeah, I do. All right. So I'm going to paste real quick. Next, highlighting JavaScript. Paste. Expiration, never. Public. We'll do unlisted. Alright, here you go. And there you go. There's all the code. And that's all we've done for now. I will go ahead and close this. That. And this. I probably have like a 25 gigabyte file.